I've talked about web games a lot here, and there's at least another like 40 worlds of them I could go into. They're not our topic today, but I bring them up because they segue pretty well into it. Games for girls, as in games with young girls as their target audience. There was so many of those online. A lot of them that I remember were dress-up related or focused on princesses somehow. This ain't where it started, no. Making games specifically for girls traces back pretty far. There was a Barbie game in the 80s for the Commodore 64, for example. But it wasn't really until the 90s and 2000s that the idea really took off for consoles, before dying down in the 2010s. The mainstream video game market has always kind of targeted the interests of boys and men, more so than those of girls and women, so these were introduced as a concept to sort of bridge the gap, I guess, to get girls playing games. Did it work? Probably, man, I don't know. Judging by how many of these damn things they made, I'm sure it was at least moderately successful. The Imagine series. There were a ton of these that got released for the Nintendo DS, and a few for the Wii and 3DS. These games put you in the shoes of whatever the subtitle was. A hairstylist, a vet, a baby, a 3D baby. Ubisoft published all of these, but they didn't develop many of them. Wikipedia tells me that there were 9 developers involved with this series. If you're ever playing a bunch of these games back to back and wonder, why are the visual and gameplay styles so different in all of these? Firstly, why are you doing that? Second, yeah, that'd be because there wasn't much of a distinct Imagine style, because there was 9 fucking developers across the whole series. Nintendo had this Touch Generation series for some of their casual games. It was a marketing ploy, and not a lot of them really have anything to do with each other. I am inclined to believe it's the same here. I'd probably be here for ages if I tried to talk about every single one of these games, so we'll just go over the 3 I happen to have. Movie star, artist, and teacher. Movie star I've had the longest, and I made my own review of it a while back where I was really harsh on it. I also threw it in a sink full of water, and now the art and papers are water damaged. This manual sounds like an old Bible now. I picked my language and get this little intro cutscene. I've seen worse. Title screen music's pretty nice. Starting the game, this Walter White-looking guy materializes in my house like a genie and promises me a career if I hire him. The sweet life, the clothes, the parties, the premieres. Do I look like I get invited to parties? Rest of it sounds pretty good. You know what? Welcome aboard. What's a stylish name for a movie star? Shrimp. Enter your hometown. Alright, but can you say please next time? Next up is designing what I look like. The mouth size slider just changes how much teeth you show. And thus was I let loose in my house while my character does the Kubrick stare at me. I can practice levels I've already played, I can mess with my outfit, I can change managers, but I don't have the other one unlocked yet. Same for stylists, and the one I've got now looks like he'd kill me if I tried to fire him, so I think I'll just leave him be. So before I do anything, my manager has me decide what movies I'll be in. 2 of these are not genres. My first audition is for some action movie called Kicksplode. Ooh, I wonder what happens in that. So with a game idea like this, I wonder what I'm going to be doing for my auditions. Will I have to actually perform things like a real audition would have me do? Is the microphone going to record me? Maybe it'll be something more simple, like remembering my lines and filling the blanks in. Or maybe later on I get to like ad-lib made-up movie scenes. That'd be awesome. What? So, imagine Movie Star is a rhythm game. You tap these guys here on the touchscreen when note triggers show up. Maybe if it were Imagine Stage Performer, then I could see this working. You gotta have some rhythm if you're dancing in a musical or something. But how exactly is playing a rhythm game with really forgettable music while I watch my character do whatever this is connected to being a movie star? Like, everything you do in this game as your movie star is just the rhythm game. The parties, the interviews, the auditions, the premieres, the performances, it's all just rhythm games. Nothing else. I don't feel like a movie star. I feel like an asshole watching the movie star. The game will throw new note triggers at you later on, plus these stars for extra points. Some of the levels have so many notes blitzing right at you, and it doesn't leave you, like, any time at all to actually pick them up, so like, what even is the point? The levels are all super boring, and there's just absolutely nothing remarkable about this game. It's really ugly, all the people look like a car ran over a bunch of avocados, the music is whatever at best, and it doesn't do what the damn box promises me. My character gets to go on dates with fried rice, the hottest man in Hollywood. Sure, game. And she gets to talk to not Ellen Generator Rex and do all the cool stuff, but me? All I get is a crap-ass rhythm game. There is a side thing in the game, though, where you create your own fashion line. That's pretty cool. You take preset models and you mess with the colors. That's it. It'd be cool if you could make your own patterns like in Animal Crossing and have those show up on the clothes. But no. This game's Achilles heel is that its whole entire reason for existing is to let you experience being a star, but it doesn't do that. I really just don't see that in it personally. It's functional, it works, it's just not fun, it's super ugly to look at, there's barely anything to do, and what there is has no flavor. I do not like this game. Now, not every game needs to be a genre-defining masterpiece, but every game should at least be fun to play, otherwise what's the point? Fine, if I don't get to be the movie star in this game, I'll do it in real life. Set yourself free, Lily. Let me go. Okay. Next up, we've got Imagine Artist with the most basic language select screen I have ever seen. That's a good omen. After I got to the title screen, I noticed Artist is a lot nicer to look at to me than Movie Star was, which, you know, makes sense. I'd hope the art game is nice to look at. The setup is this. You just got out of high school and your old friend wants you to come work at her studio. I cannot promise you quality, Megan, but I can promise you lots of drawings of Roblox faces. The main thing with this game is getting kids on the basics of art and colors. You start off tracing outlines and then you fill the colors in later on. I gave this bird arms, glasses, and a cigarette, but the game didn't appreciate my genius, so it just gave me a basic drawing instead to fill in with color. Just like Van Gogh. My artistic prowess will not be recognized until I am gone. This was an actual feature though. They just let you do whatever you want with the outline they have you trace once you're done. And the game also doesn't get mad at you for messing with different colors or making mistakes. I really like that. With this game being a creative outlet directed at kids, that's really good. Good first lesson today. I think this actually does a pretty good job of what it... Drawing well is one of the foundations of good art. Oh, and I suppose one of the foundations of good literature is using words. Step 1 of learning how to draw. Get good. So there's also different types of brushes and pencils too, so not all your drawings will look the same depending on what you use, just like the real thing. You can replay the lessons you've done, there's mini games to help you figure out where colors go on the color wheel, or what colors make other colors when you mix them. Ignore the imperfect score, you saw absolutely nothing. You also have a free draw mode where you can just make whatever you want. I drew this guy with a swollen middle finger also smoking a cigar. I am incredibly cool. Well, that's about all there is to Imagine Artist. Overall, I like it. It does a way better job of making me feel like an artist than Movie Star did at making me feel like an actor, because I'm actually doing art here and there's actual things to do outside of a mediocre rhythm game. I think it's a really great tool for creative little kids to learn the basics. Just, you know, don't let them draw birds smoking. Flipnote Studio is more fun to mess with though, but this is a good learning tool. You're alright to me, Imagine Artist. The last one I've got is Imagine Teacher. Right off the bat, yeah, this game is also really ugly. This school looks like something straight out of like Jimmy Neutron or something. And who's this dude? He looks like he's waiting for the perfect moment to just like gobble up all the kids in front of him. You see what I meant when I said there's no one unifying Imagine style? I start a new file and I get this funky little tune. So here we've got a brand new school in this little town. Apparently there was no school until the mayor got elected, and yet somehow the principal is able to retire now. They drew this entire different picture for the principal in a fishing outfit and then used it exactly once. The first few days are a tutorial. You make lesson plans and tap letters to teach kids how to write. It's just as lame as it sounds. Spin the wheel and write the letter at once, correct the kids' work. Dean, does this look like a V? Alright kids, next up is history. Ah yes, the 3 eras. Prehistory, the Middle Ages, today. After school, Mr. Manset shows up and asks for his kid's sport ball that he left here today. That's the segue into cleaning. It sucks, moving on. Next, I can give students private lessons if I want. Dean, you suck at writing, we're gonna practice that with you. Bullshit, that is an H. Dean's had his lesson, Mr. T. Seaman has his ball. Next day. What the hell? Oh, okay, apparently this classroom exists in between dimensions and occasionally tries to fully merge with one world. It has the rumblies that only lesson plans can satisfy. So my job isn't just teaching these 4, it's also being the steward of the lands in between worlds. They call me Lily the We Play Lady, I don't know.
You shall not pass!
Oh, and also poorly coloring in pictures of ice cream cones. All the kids also have files you can look at that'll tell you a bit about them and what they like. Dean is good at math, Julie likes literature, Louise talks a lot, Jeremy is nice to others. That's his whole character. He's nice to others. Oh, god damn it. As you teach the kids, your interest goes up, making your school seem better to parents and netting you more students. I don't know what the maximum is, and I didn't get any new ones in my time playing, but this old save file on my copy has 12 in it, so that might be the max. Back to our lesson. Louise, are you kidding me with this? I am the worst teacher on the planet. I also got this cutscene where a parent showed up and accused me of robbing the school on that save file. The imagined teacher lore runs deep, it would seem. This game has multiplayer. Yes, for real. You can compete with friends in the lesson minigames, even sports download play. If you really want to find out who can sort pictures by time period faster, then yeah, this is the way to go. Have fun. I'm sure this is more fun with another person, but I'm unfortunately stuck in the space between dimensions right now while I teach the brats, so no friends for me. That's about it for Imagine Teacher. You are indeed a teacher. You make lesson plans, you help the kids with their mistakes, and you clean up their messes because apparently the mayor didn't think to hire any janitors. I would think this would probably be more fun if I were the target audience. That is, a 7-year-old girl. Well, how about next time you get a game that can handle the neutron style? Later, Imagine Teacher! So, what are my final thoughts on these three? Teacher is unremarkable, artist is pretty good, and throwing movie star in the sink as a 16-year-old was very much justified. So, I was gonna end it there. Then I learned that some of the games in this series are rebranded re-releases of Japanese romance games. This has got to be one of the most bizarre rebrands I've ever seen for a game. Here's Imagine Ballet Dancer, called Princess Ballerina in Japan. Basically, you do touchscreen QuickTime events, and those translate into ballet moves. I'm sure the romance gets super interesting later on, but what was going on in the story just did not grab me at all. It's like, I saw this English guy do a cool ballet recital, so now I go to this really fancy ballet school. There's this guy, he says, hello, well, bye. And that's pretty much the setup. What a weird release. I guess Spike just didn't think this game would do super well in the West if it didn't get the rebrand from Ubisoft publishing it, but still. I haven't heard many good things about the other games in the series. Party Babies on the Wii is apparently total crap and got a 7.5 from IGN. Go fucking figure. But then there's Imagine MasterChef, which I've heard is fine. The Imagine series is one clusterfuck of inconsistency in pretty much everything from visual styles to quality. It's very much a quantity over quality type of series, and I'm not at all surprised that it faded away at the start of the 8th console generation. There's definitely a lot of appeal in what these games tried to do. If only there was more effort put into all of them, then maybe they would have stuck around and we'd have lots more on current consoles. But at the same time, I'm a grown adult. I can just go be an artist if I want. Look at this thing I drew. Isn't he beautiful?